And so I think that the idea between Bloomreach and Databricks is that Databricks can provide that great foundation, and Bloomreach can bring marketers to it to augment their work with that rich enterprise context data. I think that brands are beginning to realize that to make effective use of AI, you really need a good foundation in data. AI, if you're having it do the work on behalf of your business, needs to understand what is the current state, what am I acting against. So accessing your proprietary data is essential, but we need to make sure the data is accurate, consistently represented, and the AI understands the context around the data, how it was formed, how it should be used. Without that, AI has this really nasty habit of giving us these very confident answers. Confidently wrong, confidently right can be very hard to detect. So we have to make sure it's operating off of a well-validated and trusted foundation. So when I think about real-time, in a marketing space, we often talk about like the real-time customer engagement, differentiating that at a particular location or at a certain point of the day that the customer might have different preferences or needs. But increasingly, we're seeing people talk about real-time in terms of real-time understanding of the state of the business. Marketers, through the use of AI, are being challenged to go beyond simply understanding a customer's preferences or how to respond to something, but instead using information about the business to coordinate with supply chain, revenue management, store operations, peers from other parts of the organization. And they can only do that if they understand the current state of the business. And so real time really is about that holistic understanding in a time frame that is reasonable for decision making through AI. So for a long time, there's been this conversation about the disconnect between, say, marketers and IT, right? Marketers recognize the potential of using the data, but need to engage a completely different department where the data scientists reside to actually turn the data into something actionable. So I think in the first wave of AI adoption, there was a lot of focus on the same old metrics, but doing them better. Increasing the number of impressions, the number of clicks, the number of conversions, things like this. Increasingly, folks are looking at AI as a means to engage the organization more holistically, to understand that when we're putting ads in front of customers, we're ultimately trying to drive volume or drive margins, things that might be measured by a different department inside the company. And so organizations that are getting the most ROI, they're taking that holistic understanding and changing the metrics that they're evaluating to look across the different functions so that they know ultimately the activity of one group is supporting the entirety of the organization. We were saying before that with this next wave of AI, there's more interest in enterprise-wide type engagement, defining workflows that look across marketing, supply chain, revenue management, other functions. Databricks provides a great foundation for the data from all these departments to reside together, to be enriched with the context that AI needs. But fundamentally, the teams that work off this data, the marketers that define their workflows, the supply chain teams that are monitoring and addressing their needs on their side, they need specialized tools that speak to the things that they are responsible for. And so I think that the idea between Bloomreach and Databricks is that Databricks can provide that great foundation, and Bloomreach can bring marketers to it to augment their work with that rich enterprise context data.